Brent here from American English with this guy, teaching a couple lessons today. So the first one will be about neither, either, both. And then the second one will be about the difference between in time and on time. Below, there are chapters, just in case you know one but you don't know the other. If you would like to learn about both topics, then just sit back, relax, maybe take some notes because I will be covering a lot in this lesson, but hopefully in not too much time. If this is your first time here, please go ahead and subscribe so you never miss another lesson. If you've already been here before, would you mind hitting that like button? It will help others find this channel. Let's talk about neither, both, and either. These can be pretty confusing, but the only time you will use them is when you have two choices. Not one choice, that's not really a choice, and not three or more. It's just used when you have two choices. In the United States, a lot of people are cat people, dog people, maybe both, or maybe they don't like animals at all, so they don't like either of them. Maybe you are a cat person, maybe you're a dog person, maybe you like all animals. I don't know, would you like a bat though? Bats? I like bats because they eat mosquitoes. I don't like being stung by mosquitoes, but they're pretty ugly. And I guess they might have some diseases that have really messed up this world for the past couple months. But let's say you are given a choice. You can have a new pet, and it can be either a dog or a cat. Maybe you want both. That would mean you want the dog and the cat. I don't know if that's an option. If it is, sometimes we say they fight like cats and dogs, meaning two people don't get along. But I do have a friend, a couple, who has a cat and a dog, and it works out just fine. So if you want both, that means you will take the dog, you will take the cat. Maybe you're not an animal person at all. You might say, I'll take neither. Sometimes you will hear people say neither, but the most common way to hear it is neither. I'll take neither, meaning you don't want any of them. Any is usually used for more than two, but it's fine. You don't want either of them. Did you see how I just changed that? You never want to say, I don't want neither. I think we would still understand what you mean, but you would be using a double negative. And in English, double negatives are frowned upon. We really don't like to use them. Would I correct you if you used a double negative? No, probably not, because you're learning English, mistakes are fine. Would I correct my own children? Yes. An example of a double negative is I don't want no bananas. Not sure why I used bananas, but I don't, that's a negative word. No, another negative word. If you use them in the same sentence, two negatives actually is a positive. I don't want no bananas. It means you actually do want bananas. So try staying away from double negatives. Two words in the same sentence that have a negative meaning. Not, no, neither. Some examples of these. I don't want no dogs would not sound exactly correct, but we would know you don't want any dogs. Let's say you don't care. You like dogs and cats equally. You don't really care which one you get. You can say, I will take either of them. Meaning, you give me the cat, I'm happy. You give me the dog, I'll be happy. But don't give me both. I'll take either, one or the other. I hope that makes sense with either, neither, both. If you have any questions, leave a comment. Next one is in time versus on time. And for this to be used, we have to have a deadline or a due date. Something has to be late. Let's say you have a big English assignment and it is due on Friday. When we use on time, that means there is less of a rush Time was not a factor. It was not a problem. You got your assignment in on time. It wasn't late. But let's say you were rushing around until the last minute. We will sometimes use that term, the last minute, when something was almost late. Let's say you were rushing around and you got your assignment in on time. It wasn't early, but it wasn't late. Maybe there was some doubt that it wouldn't be turned in on time. Let's talk about a bus. In the United States, buses should be on time. If it's even 5 minutes early, we would consider that on time. It's better to be a little early than a little late. So let's say your bus is on time. Everything is fine. You'll probably get to your next destination on time. But let's say you were running late. Maybe you hit too many red lights. We sometimes say that in English when you're trying to get somewhere. You're already a little late, but you hit every red light, which causes you to be even later. Maybe your alarm didn't go off in the morning. You had to rush around to get to the bus station or the bus stop, and you barely made it on the bus in time. You could have been late. If you were a minute or two later, you might have missed that bus, but you got there on time. So very little difference between in time and on time, but when you use in time, it means something was almost late. When something is really, really close to being late, you might hear the term just in the nick of time. I'm not exactly sure why we use nick. Nick is also a name of a person, but sometimes when you cut yourself shaving, we say you've nicked yourself. So a nick can also be something very small in English. So maybe that's where just in the nick of time comes from. Before we wrap this lesson up, I would love to give a shout out to some people who have given me super chats on recent live streams. Your support means so much. Thank you. And thank you for watching this lesson. If you were looking for another English lesson, there was one right there where I talk about The Office. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.